Thank you. Okay, first wanted to go through our procedures that we follow. And when one wants to come before us for a variance, they will come up to the podium and present why they want a variance, the reasons for it. Hopefully addressing the questions that they've been asked about it. After they've presented all the information they want to present, the board members can ask them questions about the application. There'll be some back and forth between the applicant and the board. When the applicant and the board, after that, we will open it up to the audience as to any input that they would like to make. Any presentation from the audience should be directed to the board, not to the applicant. And it should be kept to a fairly short, minutes or less, statement. So after that's done, if it's okay with the board and with the applicant, we can close the public hearing. Once the public hearing is closed, we have 62 days to make a decision. Most times we're able to make the decision on the night of the presentation. And people are welcome to stay around for our deliberations that occur at the end. Or they can call Mike tomorrow and find out what our deliberations going to. Okay, first application is on Thomas Road, Gerber Homes. This is a continued area variance. Applicants requesting an area variance of 12.6 feet for a front setback of 60, where 60 feet is required, and 47.4 feet for a home being built in the R30 district. Is there anyone here for that? No one here on the Thomas. That's the second time that. Wait, this. Have you had any?
They no showed last time too.
Did we decide 3 strikes people were allowed? Okay. All right, so we'll put it off again, continue it to next month, but if no one available at that time, you're not here for the Thomas Road project, right? No. Okay. If they're not present for a third time, they'll have to reapply. Okay, the next is Kyle Heath. This is 3170 Hickox Road. The applicant is proposing a 435-foot long, 6-foot high fence along the northern property line, seeking a 2-foot height variance from the zoning board of appeals, which when only 4 feet is allowed and 6 feet is proposed. Is anyone here?
Yes, sir.
Anyone come up and state your name and address?
My name is Kyle Allen Heath, and address is 3170 Hickox Road. So yeah, this is they're asking for the variance, pretty straightforward. So the northwest front corner of the house, I already have the permit to do the fence 6 foot from the northwest corner of the house back. As you can see in the picture here, asking to continue that 6-foot fence in the front of the house from the northwest corner up to the pine. There's a pine tree that sits approximately 20 to 25 feet back off of the roadway. Asking to build a 6 foot all the way back. I have started construction. I'm a lone wolf fence builder. I started, but I didn't do anything from the northwest corner forward. Obviously, waiting for the concurrence or whatnot from this meeting.
That's where the posts go all the way back. The posts there now.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And then I started. So I put in a 4x4 post all the way back. Right. And then I started with the 3 cross members. I haven't put any pickets up at this point. just doing it when I have some extra time. Main reason I'm doing this, I don't know how in depth you wanna get, I'll be straightforward, I fought the war overseas, I'm not trying to fight it at home, just wanna be left alone, want a little privacy. Mainly doing it for the safety and security of my family. I can provide other reasons and justification, but I'll leave it at that unless you have questions.
It's all open field behind you,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And you've got pretty good distance between your neighbors, it looks like. Correct?
On the right hand side, you can see
Right.
that's the closest residence, and that's where the fence is going. The other side, there's a 5 acre parcel that butts up to ours. And there's no fence going up on that side.
I just read it as 6 foot you would like to do as opposed to 4.
Yeah, so I received the permit to do the 4 foot into the 6 foot, and then the variance is just from going the 4 foot height to a 6 foot height.
Right.
So the variance of 2 foot where I'm only supposed to do the 4 foot in the front.
Why do you need 6 feet as opposed to 4?
Well, there's a chicken coop that the neighbor built approximately 20 to 25 foot from the property line, and the chickens are in our yard pretty consistently. There's also been, I'm not trying to be like disrespectful or anything so much in what I say, there's been some, there's been prior arrests, that I'm not gonna get into, that I just, you shouldn't shoot what you can't see. So I'm just, I'm proposing the 6 foot as an actual privacy fence. I don't think 4 foot is much of a privacy fence, being 6 foot tall myself.
That'll be 6 foot all the way back.
Yes, sir.
And across the front,
No, sir, just
on the side.
correct. I don't know if you want me to point it out, but
Sure.
where his cursor is.
Mhm.
If you, right, so if you go down that line, that's where it would be. It's 5 foot off the property line, off of my property line. So that I have room to maintain the other side of the fence when it needs to be stained or repaired or whatever the issues are about to.
How far off the road was it? What?
I would say probably 20 foot. There's a pretty good sized pine tree that sits in the front yard right there. And so it would be, I think 3 or 5 foot to the back of the pine tree where it starts.
Any other way you can achieve what you'd like to achieve without the extra 2 feet?
Not at this point, sir, no. I think the attempt to exhaust those options were brought to the table before I submitted the variance.
Gotcha.
Can you flip back to the plan? I mean, so you're just coming down and then up to the house? Basically an L?
No, ma'am, is it okay?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
absolutely.
Make things-
But you can go back to
Yeah,
the
here you go
other.
right here, so 35 foot from
Oh.
the roadway, here's the pine tree-ish. The fence is just gonna go down
Gotcha.
to the back part here. There's a corral out back here that the neighbor owns for donkeys or horses, and then the chicken coops like right in here somewhere.
Oh, okay, so it's a straight fence, just straight along.
Yeah,
There's no boxing in a yard. Okay, thank you.
So then go the entire boundary.
No, I would say it's probably, I think it's 950 some feet from the roadway back to the end of our parcel. And I think it's about 400 or 450-ish. So about
that in there, yeah,
halfway.
yeah, so how much? 435,
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
For this
okay,
zoning district.
Probably a couple foot off, but.
I get it. Have something, Jason? That you're.
No.
He answered my question.
Have we done any 6-foot fences in the town? Is there a variance? Are you aware of any variances that you've seen?
I mean, I've driven around, I'll be honest, I've driven around and I don't know what sits like the city limits versus the town limits. I've seen both on some ends, like, good example, and I don't know where that line is between the
Right.
town and the city, but if you go down. I guess it would be out this way down 5 and 20, if you kind of go over the crest of the hill, you'll see kind of neighboring properties, so it looks like there's a house setback, there's a few good examples. of
That sounds like
the
the city, but I'm just trying to, obviously. If we're talking about something that's been.
If it's been done before, it's easier.
I think there are, I think
I could tell you, Dave, my neighbor has a fence that's like 6 feet,
Is that?
for a little ways, doesn't go that long,
Yeah.
probably about.
Well, we're not talking about victory.
What is the?
Then it drops down to like a picket fence.
Okay, I'm just, like I said, I didn't know.
I don't know what the rules, if the rules are any different for my zoning area, I don't know. Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, we've done one on Outhouse for that, right on the edge of Outhouse Road.
Yeah, we did. There was there a poll on that?
There are a couple in that development that are very.
Yeah.
I don't know if we. Give variances for all of them, but.
Yeah, a couple of them were those.
The issue is with pools and.
Right.
We've done fence variances on commercial
Yeah.
more than residential,
Yeah, we don't get a lot of them.
not a lot.
No.
Ours, I guess it's our Buffalo Street.
Yep.
Development in there, there's several.
Yeah.
Yep, the new one, yeah.
I mean, that has to be where you are, where we did that once, just trying to.
Anybody else? feel-
Probably before I was on here.
Are we? Not too exhausted. Really good.
Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Are you satisfied with what's been presented? We can close the public hearing.
Yes, sir.
We'll close the public hearing. You have 62 days to make a decision. We will make one. You're welcome to stay for we do all the decisions at the end of the meeting. You're welcome to stay for our discussion. We want to, leave now. Call me, but we'll let you know what we decided.
Okay. All right, I appreciate your time, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Next is 2232 Avon Road. Applicant is proposing an addition to a single-family home that will join the existing home to the existing private garage, detached garage, thus creating the need for a 14.4 foot variance when the setback for a single-family home is 40 feet and 25.6 is proposed. We want to hear from.
Yes, sir.
Leland Tire.
Good evening,
Good evening.
So-
Give your name and address just for.
Leland Tyler, 2232 Avon Road, Canandaigua. So we're proposing an addition on our residence, a sitting room off the west side of our residence and a small breezeway between the sitting room and our existing accessory building garage. Because of this and the location of the accessory building and the unique property boundary lines, it's causing the setback issues, so that's our proposal.
That's certainly the property is in a unique shape.
It is, it's a pizza pie.
Yeah.
And based on where the existing home is located within that triangle, it's just closer to the backside of the, or the western property line.
It doesn't come any closer to the line than the existing buildings.
It does not, no, in fact, yeah, the sitting room would only extend 20 feet out from the house, but on the existing garage, it would fall just short of halfway.
Breezeways tucked back in. Away from the-
Yep. And behind the property line on the west side is just agricultural land.
Is that anything?
Anyone in the audience have any comments or questions?
Just trying to see if we saw anything from ECB, but there are no comments.
No,
from
there's
ECB.
no.
Yes.
I'm satisfied, sir. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll close the public hearing. You have 62 days to make a decision. Hopefully we'll make it tonight.
Okay.
And if you're ready for a deliberation, or you can call Mike tomorrow.
Okay, very good. Thanks, folks.
Thank you. Okay, the next is Anna Popelka, 5229 Sammy's Way. Applicant is requesting a front setback variance of 11 feet for a proposed garage attached to the primary structure, where 18.8 feet is proposed and 30 feet is required. A lot line of coverage, variance of 22%, for existing conditions where 42% exist and 20% is the maximum. Is there anyone here for that?
Yes. I'm gonna recuse myself.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, just identify yourself and.
All right, so Anna Popelka for 5229 Sammy's Way, Canandaigua. And yeah, so the last time I was here, they asked me to collect like letters or information from neighbors. Basically for the single car garage addition, seeing that that would be okay, and I did collect those. Some statements from various neighbors. I don't know if you guys want.
Yeah, Mike, you have those in?
No, they're not in cloud.
No. Okay.
That's not.
Yeah,
Okay, great. Yes, no, eventually. For.
Wow.
So. Of course, on
Okay.
either in person or by email. Or by text.
Oh, okay. May 19th, 2025, which is yesterday. Tom Rogers, statement from neighbor across the street, says, I received the letter with information about the single car proposal for Popelka residents. I have no objections to this. And then there's a semicolon and right parentheses, which I believe indicates a smiling face. Handwritten Kevin and Aaron Fairbairn, text correspondence, no objections. Where do they live?
And they live 3 doors down from us. So if you're coming in from into Sandy's Way, they're on the right 2 doors down from the corner. And then,
Barb and Jeff Oren, statement from neighbors in cul-de-sac. They both know about the addition of a single car garage. And they both have no objections to this, also smiling face. Linda and Jerry Favada received the letter with information about the single car garage, and I, Anna, spoke with them via phone. And they have no objections to this, another smiling face. They're typewritten by you, you type these?
I typed them based on correspondence that I had, yeah.
Okay. Have emails or these phone conversations?
Pardon?
Were these all phone conversations you had with the neighbors?
In person for one, by phone the other, text for the other, and I think phone call on the other one. Which my husband made.
Okay, you review this, what you want to do and why you need a variance.
Okay, Yeah, so just right off the main garage, the original garage, in front of it, we're just looking to do a single car garage, just to give us more space. Basically have another car able to use that space and just have a little bit more storage.
That's not still a garage.
Pardon?
That's not still a garage, because it's got like garage doors on the side.
We have the original 2-car garage, it's like a side. And then in front of it, we wanted to place a single car garage, which requires of the setback, and that's what we're hoping to achieve.
Will the door be on the same?
Yes, it'll be part of the driveway. That is the goal, to continue, same driveway. Again, we already have the 2-car side, and it's just another side in front of it.
The
All be
original,
attached.
the original garage was converted. Yeah,
They're gonna have 5 cars, 5 garage spaces,
Correct. Yes, in essence, yes.
and all the garage doors are facing onto the driveway.
Yes,
Okay. Looks like it's facing
Yeah, especially
the opposite
that way.
direction.
and I think it was designed like that conceptually. I think she was thinking Chris Hennessy, we were talking about maybe a courtyard, but I think we're gonna, because of hearing about the amount of space we have on the lot in correspondence to house structure and dwellings and things like that, we just found that it would be best to have it all connected to the main driveway. So there's no concept of a courtyard at this time.
so there will be, yes, it's not gonna come in on the same side as on the right hand side.
So, if I can.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Right now, we have this 2-car garage set up, and this 2-car, we would add it here, and everything would be coming, the flow would be from this track.
All doors would open onto the driveway.
And on that, you have the doors on the other way.
Yeah, the plan doesn't, yeah, the plan.
And it will be reflecting, it will be reflecting that.
Mike, do you scroll on?
If you want, I could submit an updated one that clearly shows that, and it's not a problem, but that is definitely the direction we're going.
We
Keeping it,
would have to have that.
We didn't make it a
because
condition.
Any decision we make is based on what's. presented
okay,
to
perfect,
us.
yes, it's clearly will be part of that because of the last meeting we had and just that idea of. Yeah, keeping in nature, I guess, like just not having so much. Additional cement or.
Does that change your lot coverage?
No, well, I mean, now that we're putting it to. I don't know the question, I'm sorry.
It adds a percent.
Right, but I'm assuming the overall lot coverage is accounting for that additional. You scooch down,
Yeah, for this, yes.
yep, and then the concrete or whatever coming into what looks like the door on the other side. So if some of that's going away, does that change?
So it'd be less in a sense, right?
You say now this is gonna only add 1%?
Yes, after we do the calculations, it's over 22% now. So adding that is gonna be 20%.
Wait, say that again?
They're 23% over. And this development has a lot coverage. Threshold.
20.
20.
Oh, cause you're saying where they're building is already, a lot of it's already not permeable.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, right now they're at 42%.
Yeah.
So it's gonna go to 43%. They need the variance for all the past percentages.
So
I was gonna say, is there an existing variance then?
they're allowed 20%
Yes,
and they have currently 42%.
yes,
And they're going to 43.
yes.
How does adding that on only add 1%?
It does when you do the math, that's all it came out to. I went over it several times.
Why was there no variances before for the additions or?
We went through the files, they received permits for all the work that was done. But it was always said it's fine because it's PUD, but no one looked at the PUD bylaws and this one had lot coverage. We went through the like they say, yeah.
It looked like they wouldn't be the only one, but.
Right.
Yeah.
We thank you for your.
Any other way you can achieve what you need to do?
No. Just the way the lot is structured, it's. Yeah, it's narrowed to the front, and it becomes really wider in the back, it's a little high.
Anyone in the audience who has any questions or concern?
Actually, can you flip back to the plan? I'm sorry. So from the driveway, so somebody pulls in, how do they get to the door? Is there not a walk from the driveway to the door? I mean, because you've got to,
As
It's-
of now, the walk is where the single car is, so we're gonna be we would be landscaping clearly. And there would be a different pathway, and that will be. Figured.
Car entry door would be on the right side, not the left side. That's-
Right, yeah, it's over to the right, but I think you're asking about the walk.
I am.
Yeah.
So you're gonna take it from the, I'm assuming you're thinking below the addition. You'd bring from the driveway of sidewalk up?
So conceptually, I haven't thought that far with.
The reason I'm
Tennessee.
asking, because I know it's not exactly part of this, but the reason I'm asking is if you do a concrete walk, that's even further lot coverage.
Yeah, so right now we have a pathway with stone, like you have pavers. And so, I
Still
know, does it
counts.
differentiate if it's pavers versus something else? Okay. I know I want to be minimalist, a minimalistic approach to that. So what, whether it goes straight out to the street or whether it goes towards the garage, again, to be determined with Chris Hennessy, I don't have an answer on that yet. I've been pondering it myself, so I've got a few ideas, but less is more is what the goal would be for that.
Like, how did you determine your lot coverage? We took the from Hong Kong to the size of the lot. And then we took every single piece, the house size, the pool size, permit, everything. And
Yeah. Driveway.
everything.
How'd you measure the size?
When you use the Encore app, so you go dot, and give you an area.
I would measure what's shorter, maybe going directly to the street.
It's one of the questions we have to ask is whether the difficulty is self-created and so it kind of seems like it is in a sense. I just don't know why there's a need for so many garage spaces.
Yeah, it's for storage, it's for cars, really, car and storage. It's keeping everything neat and orderly and just have that extra space. We can't have sheds on our property, that's another thing, just to know. It's not part of the, like, you're not allowed to, everything has to be attached to the house, so. I'm just kind of bearing that.
Thank you for
in mind,
that.
too. Thanks.
Yes, the other question, was significant variance, maybe, lot coverage particularly,
And the single car garage is plenty away from the roadway. I know there's another neighborhood across the way, cottage homes, and they have that kind of a structure where something is kind of sticking that has like a garage that's out, and there's still, like, we still have enough distance from the roadway in comparison to some of those, just to kind of, and you guys have told me to pay attention to things like that, like how do we compare to others? We clearly do have enough frontage to offset this.
So that garage fit, I see the walk there where it comes out to the driveway, and it's hard to tell with the shadow there. There's enough room there to add that garage there and leave the walk alone?
Oh, we can't, yeah, we don't have any room on that other side because the lot property line is like right there. There's absolutely no room.
I'm talking about where you don't show that walk on
The current walk is not on.
We don't have a walkway on the side of the house.
no, I'm talking about the walk that I'm looking at right
The
there.
walk that you're going to need is what I believe David's saying. Shannon-
Well, it's already there apparently, right?
No,
Like,
It's coming out.
We currently have one there, but that's no longer, like, it's obviously not gonna be.
Addition.
so there isn't
So
enough. no.
technically there is a walk, okay, let me stipulate, there is a walk that would take you to the garage, so technically if we put a door there and just had this connect to like a back door to the garage.
No, I'm talking about the walk that clearly goes from the front door to the driveway.
Yes.
Okay, that
Yes.
walk stays the same. Is there
Um,
room but for the new garage to fit in between that and the old?
Yeah, like, so technically we could use that and then just have it go right to the garage and have a door there. So yes, so in essence, we could do that, but we wanna redesign.
But his
that and
question
get it
is,
out.
your addition,
The answer is no.
yeah.
Your addition's going over the top of
Removing
that.
that
Yeah.
portion of the.
Okay, okay, all right, I got
At
it.
least this portion of the.
I just couldn't tell with the shadow there if there was room or if there
Room or
were, because at some point in time, you're gonna wanna have probably access to the front door from the driveway.
I think code requires that you have access to the front door. Commercial, building code.
I don't see that included in the print. That's the only reason I'm asking as far as lot coverage again.
But I don't think that size of walkway would require a permit, so in approving of 42% lot coverage, you're really approving 43 or 44, because eventually they're gonna put a sidewalk in there. Around the
And
garage.
just to clarify though, like this gentleman mentioned, we already have, a sidewalk there. It's just reconfiguring it, whether it stays in that direction or goes out to the roadway. And I was just, and again, any recommendations from you is perfectly fine to hear, because also we want to make it so that it works. As you can see, I have no preference. I'm just trying to make it to work to,
Okay. Would you consider this to be in the character of the neighborhood to have a 5-car garage?
I don't see why.
I mean, is there anything else that's even close to that? Or most of them look like, what I could see were 2-car garages, and this is 5. I mean, if that's what you consider, just curious, what you think.
Yeah, I mean, some of us have that sidecar kind of concept, and so some do have like a 3. I believe over in the cul-de-sac, there's somebody with like a 3.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, no,
We promise no more garages after this.
Like there must be some kind of code like for policemen or firemen access to go to the front door, right?
Yeah, Mike Murphy would know that better than I would, but yes, you have to have access to the front door.
Yeah.
From the road, yes. They can't be going through the garage.
Right.
I guess I'm concerned that we really don't have a final plan of what.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
This plan is incomplete, among other things.
You're asking for a large variance. Which seems different than most of what the
The
neighborhood.
determination was based on what the plans showed. It showed the addition.
Yeah.
It didn't say anything about a new walkway, so
That's
that
fine.
will add to one,
Yeah.
if it's any bigger. I think we need a final.
Yeah, I think,
It'll have to be bigger, it's gonna be longer.
pardon me,
Any new walkway they put in is gonna be longer to go
Right.
further around, it's gonna be bigger.
It's going around that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have this problem, lose this problem, still go around it.
I guess the question is, are we comfortable making a decision
I
based
am
on
not.
what we have? Or, you would have the option of,
If we had,
leaving the, hearing open and coming back in a month with a complete plan showing the way you're gonna have the sidewalk.
if the sidewalk, instead of going to the left towards, so you come out the front door, instead of it going left to the garage. If we just do it straight out, so like delivery people, whatever, like we have that access point, is that okay in the
Well,
direction of seeking an approval?
I think
You'd
it's-
have to check
it's a
the
code
code.
question, I don't know if that's actually allowed, it might be, but I just don't know if it is. And not his code, the building code, which is
Right.
another code, which is the code enforcement officer, not the zoning officer, I just don't know, we're not trying to.
Is it okay to have the walkway that we have currently, just on a technicality, connect to the garage where there is a door? And then that's it?
No,
No. So the goal is to have that pathway be either connected to the driveway or the possibility of it going out to the roadway.
you have an architect,
Yes, Chris Hennessy, yes.
they can tell you what the code
They
says.
would know.
Right, so we waited on that concept because we wanted to first see, where things went from here and then have that final draw up. But I'm glad we're talking about these points because that was my point in question. Like I wasn't sure on that because we didn't talk further, Chris and I. And so hearing things from here, it sounds like we probably have to have it connecting to the driveway. And possibly one that can go straight out instead.
Yeah, that's it.
That would be
That's
probably the
something.
easiest, but I'll talk with Chris and I think she probably can dig into like details on that. We could submit that probably this week if that were okay.
Well, we'd have
In
to
terms
for the
of-
next
We'd be
meeting.
deferred till next month.
Okay,
I think,
I mean, you could still ask, she could still ask for a vote technically, but
Right.
yeah.
that would be wonderful with the concept of, obviously we're gonna make that walkway.
but if you don't think the vote's gonna go your way, you may wanna push it for another.
And
month.
understand we have to vote on what
Yeah.
the plans is presented.
I'm not sure we really could vote because we would be voting on what,
We'd be voting on that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
and we don't, that's not.
Okay,
the way-
we'll wait and get it the right way. We wanna take the time and get
Yeah.
that to work,
We'll leave the hearing open for a month.
Okay, thank you.
Every-
Sorry to not have answers. It's just we weren't that far because I didn't know the progression of how this would work, so. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thanks for your time.
All right, the next one is 3050 County Road 16. Marks Engineering, seeking a variance from the zoning board of appeals for 43.5 foot front setback for the primary structure on a corner lot, and 60 feet is required. 16.5 is proposed. Additions to a single family home with a new driveway and patio. Yeah.
Logan Rockcastle, Marks Engineering. As you stated, we're proposing a new garage and kind of extension of the porch around the existing house. And in order to do this, and because it fronts on two roads, there's two front setbacks, which limits the amount of building space that we're allowed to build on. Even the existing house is not on the envelope that is provided by code. Yeah, as you can see there. So the garage, my clients, they want to move into this house and have be their forever home. So adding a garage will allow them to have more parking space as well as storage. Right now, the existing driveway comes off of County Road 16 and it's fairly steep and not that wide, and it kind of causes a little bit of a safety issue, especially with Weifels Road coming down adjacent to that. So we're going to be moving the driveway to Weifels Road and then having access to the new garage from that area, which allows for better sight distance and abandoning the existing driveway on County Road 16 and kind of replacing it with just a walkway to have access to the lake.
Um. That's basically it as far as the variance is concerned. It's just a front setback. It kind of looks like a side setback because it's a corner lot, but it's just one single variance for the front setback.
So if it weren't corner lot, like
If-
25 feet, no,
12,
12 feet.
and it would comply.
Side, on the side,
Well, yeah. There's a table if you scroll down.
one of these corner lot issues,
Mhm.
not
I'm
uncommon.
reading the ECB. reading-
Do you have any idea what the current front setback is on the side?
Yeah,
It doesn't look like that's 60 either.
I think it's, let's see here.
Existing 92.1 and 32.9. I think the, let's go back up. Yeah, it's not really.
32.9. This thing. Go up one more.
Distance off of White Hills currently.
Yeah. So technically you're asking for a difference I can't do in my head.
An address change.
12-ish, yes.
12.5, I think.
This is an address change.
It isn't. It?
It is an
Yeah.
address change.
Could it be moved any further to the north?
With preserving the existing kind of layout of the house, this is like the best scenario for the placement of the garage. Cause I mean, there is like a door kind of up in this patio area that they want to preserve as kind of social space, and if they push it farther north, they lose all that space.
So, yeah, the ECB is actually, they're recommending that, suggest moving the garage back to the, the north area back in line with the home so that the setback wouldn't be required. So that was what you were just referring to. Why can't,
There's a door where that patio is. Kind of
okay,
right there, they kind of want to preserve that area, for patio space.
Okay.
So the existing layout of the house is preserved.
But even if they moved it back to,
Yeah.
but wait, I'm confused. I'm so sorry. Even if they moved it back to in line with the house, it still wouldn't be 60.
Well, it says it would remove.
We'd still need a variance.
You would,
Yeah.
okay, instead of,
But you need less of a
I'm just
variance.
reading the notes
Right.
that they're
Correct.
referring
Less-
to.
Correct.
There a patio in the front of the house?
No, it's pretty steep coming down the hill, so that's why they're having a deck on the front area.
Okay. So they,
It creates the
they'd
back-
still have a social area in the front with the deck.
Right,
Yeah.
but the back area is more secluded, no one can see it from the road. A lot more privacy.
Are you covering this drive, are you taking the driveway out?
Yeah.
Existing driveway out?
Yep.
What kind of walkway you putting in? It's not really relevant to here.
Paver,
Yeah.
concrete, something of that nature.
Circle between, that's a tree axon.
That's topsoil, stockpile.
Is it covered porch all the way around? Or is that an addition as well?
It's covered porch, right? Yeah.
To where?
Here.
That line is also
Yeah. So it's like, there's an entrance on that side.
Oh, yeah.
So there you see that new step, you know, so they have access to that existing door there.
To move it northward, you would be losing some windows.
Windows
into the
and
main
and-
house.
flat area for, you know, activities. They have a couple kids that, you know, they use that area for, you know, sports and things like that. You push that north and you're losing valuable flat area.
And adding driveway.
And adding driveway and adding the limits of disturbance and disturbing more of the property.
Size of the garage, that's typically feet.
2-car. Two,
Yeah.
yeah. It's two bays on it, but I think they're a little bit larger as far as the doors are, so you fit more in there per se, for 2 cars and then storage.
You have no problem with lot coverage or building coverage.
No, we're staying underneath lot coverage and building coverage. And I have detailed calculations on the plans.
That's a 23.6 or 25?
23.
Oh,
So 23.6 referring to, Chris?
even with the one right here. Look at that, now I can.
I think the ECB had questioned the size of the garage.
Yeah. That's reading.
Runoffs and that kind of stuff, but anything wrong with the size doesn't. Go beyond the lot coverage.
Right.
But we have proposed stormwater mitigation practices, dry wells.
Dry wells,
Yeah,
I saw that.
so we keep everything on site and because they do have neighbors to the north, we're trying to make sure that we're not making that limited disturbance towards them and then making the grading shed water onto their property. So we're trying to keep as much existing as possible. And keeping it closer to White Falls Road is a better scenario for this practice.
And there's sort of a hedge all through there on White Road. Will that remain near them? or-
For the most
That's where
part,
the driveway is.
for the most part, with the new grading, you can see that we are kind of bringing it back. We'll probably end up having to put plantings in there based on the criteria for view shed. In the planning board's criteria, so.
Questions? from you?
Good.
Jason, you have any questions?
I'm good.
Dave?
Thank you.
Anyone in the audience have any comments or questions? Satisfied with what you presented?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Close the public hearing. Okay, we'll close the public hearing. We have 62 days to make a decision, but we will certainly try to make it tonight. Welcome to stay around for our deliberation. Okay, the next is Barclay Damon LLP, Barry Goldberg, New Michigan Road. This is a referred to us from the planning board for a solar array. And we need to talk about whether we're comfortable with the planning board being things to make the decisions here.
They've also filed an application for a use variance, which I think Ari will explain
Okay,
what they're doing here.
got it,
Not to be voted on tonight,
Right.
but they're
right,
Tonight, we're just
start, they're gonna, I think you're gonna present
okay,
The second one.
the ideas about the use variance.
alright,
Hi, my name is Haley Epler. I represent the applicant Canandaigua CSG 1 LLC, also referred to as Dimension Energy throughout, so you'll hear both. Really excited to present this project to you tonight. We have a PowerPoint prepared for you that we'll go through. I will introduce all of our members of our team throughout, and you'll get to hear from all of them in kind. May I have the next slide, please? It's actually not next slides because I sent you a PDF, so I guess I'll just say scroll instead. Dimension Energy is an owner operator of community solar projects throughout the nation. And that's what sets us apart. We are an owner operator. There are so many solar developers playing in the same space that we're playing in community solar, that come to towns just like Canandaigua, proposing solar projects. They get them permitted with you, and then they sell them to the highest bidder. You don't really get to understand that process. It's legal generally, unless your ordinance prevents it. It's perfectly legal for them to sell these projects to another owner. It leads to continuity in projects. You're not really sure who your next point of contact is. Pretty stressful for towns, and it leads to generally a poor reputation with the industry. That's something that really sets us apart. I always make this joke: when you see a Dimension project come into town, you're stuck with Dimension, you're stuck with me. We develop, we entitle all of our projects, we construct our projects, and then we own our projects. That means that you have continuity with the Dimension Energy representative throughout the life of a project. From this point forward, through project decommissioning, you'll be able to talk to someone at Dimension. So, as I mentioned, we were founded in 2018. We develop throughout the nation. We have a very heavy presence in New York State. We have at least 10 projects currently under construction right now. We have a lot in Pennsylvania as well. We really strive to maximize our positive impacts of our projects in our local communities. Something you'll see as a part of this project is a really unique agrivoltaics implementation plan associated with our solar project. It's not just like your cookie cutter sheep grazing on site. So we'll get into that in a little bit. We know that farming is very important to Canandaigua, and we took that very seriously when we came to both the planning board and the zoning, the ZBA with that. So with that, I will make some other introductions for our team. Obviously, my name is Haley. I have Ari Goldberg here from Barclay Damon. I have Brian. Oh, there he went. Hi, Brian. This is Brian Bear, CNS. And then I also have Caleb from United Agrivoltaics, who will be presenting our agrivoltaics plan as we get more into our presentation. Some quick location data. The project is located along New Michigan Road. It does not have a street address yet, but the parcel ID is located there. The project will occupy approximately 25 acres. That includes the landscaping, access road, panels. Generally speaking, the limits, the fenced in area is about 20 acres. The landscape screening takes up about 5 acres itself. The project capacity is 4.95 megawatts AC. That's just under the threshold for a community solar project under NYSERDA's New York Sun program. The max project size in New York, where it can be a community solar project, is 5 megawatts AC. This makes it so that it's not a utility project. There are some definitive benefits to our project. With community solar projects, you can have discounted electric rates for subscribers. This could be residences, municipal accounts, and local businesses. And this also leads to increased taxable revenue, not only of the property, but also the improvements, aka our infrastructure, on the parcel itself. So there's some monetary benefits associated with our project, as well as local renewable energy being brought online. Whenever I drive into Canandaigua, I'm seeing more subdivisions coming up. And I can't help but think, where's the power coming from for these new houses demanding the energy? It's really nice when you can generate that power locally to offset that demand. This is our site plan as it currently stands. I don't have a pointer, so you're going to watch me point in the air at things, and it's not going to help. Ari, you don't have to do that, don't worry. So you can see that there's a nice thick wall of landscape screening around the project.
I'm gonna note that you will see that there's probably what looks like a textural difference on the side closest to New Michigan Road. Thank you so much. That's because that's an apple orchard. That has some screening in front of it too. That's part of our agrivoltaics plan. We'll get into that more too. The apple orchard is designed to feed some of the animals living on site, also serves as a landscape screen. Our access road cuts in off of New Michigan Road. Its location is pretty locked in just because there's not existing utility infrastructure along New Michigan Road, along the entirety of New Michigan Road. If there were more poles throughout the entirety of New Michigan Road, we could certainly shift it, but unfortunately there are not. As you know, RG&E is the utility here. So within the fenced in area, we have our panels, as you can see. We have 2 equipment pads. At one of those equipment pads, there is a well for water on site for the animals, which we'll talk about soon. And I think those are the major physical components of the project at this point. Oh, sorry, you're good. All right, keep going. All right, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ari to discuss our permitting and construction pathway.
Good evening, members of the zoning board. My name is Ari Goldberg from law firm of Barker & Damon. I'm the attorney for the project. Here to talk to you quickly about the zoning board's role in this process. Might be a bit unusual what you're used to. The first is to talk about the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA. Right now, the planning board has preliminarily declared their intent to serve as lead agency. They have started circulating their solicitation notice to all the involved and interested agencies, part of that SECRA process. That means that the planning board is handling the environmental review. That doesn't mean that what I'm going to talk to you about later, the public utility use variance, doesn't consider the environment. By the time SECRA is completed, that's when we anticipate coming back to the zoning board for an ultimate decision on the use variance request. And then if the zoning board sees fit to approve that use variance, we then wrap up with site plan approval and special use permit that we have discussed with the planning board. Now you see the word use on here twice. That's really just to ensure that in addition to getting this use variance, which is required because of the zoning code, we also comply with the code in all facets and out of an abundance of caution, seeking a special use permit as well. We did submit this omnibus submission to the town March 31. That contained application materials relevant to this board, and I'm going to go through those in a moment. And then if everything goes well on the approval front and dimension is a little bit more regarding the land and any sort of additional components of the project, construction would commence and then take about 6 to 8 months. So thank you. Let me start right now about the public utility variance. Haley used the word utility earlier to differentiate between community solar and utility scale solar. That is a label having to do with project capacity. But there's another use of the word utility that's relevant to the solar project, and that is as a public utility variance standard. As I saw, the prior 5 applicants before this board were all area variances, and you were talking about the Town Law 267B test for area variances. There's a test for use variances as well. It's only got 4 elements. Some of them are shared with the area variance test. But that is the traditional standard for most commercial applications. If I wanted to put a Home Depot here, I would come before you seeking a use variance to allow Home Depot on this AR2 zone parcel. But the team is here to get your approval for a solar array, which, as Haley mentioned, does have public benefits in that it produces electricity, answers the demand for growing electricity due to the growth in Farmington and Canandaigua and other adjoining jurisdictions. It's not the standard test, however. The test is created through various sets of cases throughout New York State courts over the years, and it changes from 4 elements to these 2 criteria before you. And it's a relaxed standard. And basically all it has to say is requires the applicant, in this case Dimension, who is providing that essential service in the form of electricity, to demonstrate that the relief they're seeking from you, a use variance, is a public necessity required to render that safe and adequate service. So flipping that question on its head, without the use variance, there's no solar array. And then the second factor is a little bit more, it reminds me a little bit of the first criteria in the area variance test, detriment to nearby properties. You could say tons of things within that factor to demonstrate detriment or to demonstrate benefit. Here, the factor is a little bit similar. It's compelling reasons, economic or otherwise, that make it more feasible to seek the variance than to seek alternate locations. So those are two new standards, and that's why, we're gonna present a little bit more on them right now. And that's part of why we're making this a two-meeting process. So I want to draw your attention to its exhibit.
Art, can I
Yeah.
just interrupt? The elements he just went over, what you will have to find in order to grant public utility variance. Sorry, go on.
No, that's a really good point, good something to hammer home is you use all your skills you have as a zoning board for the town, you just have different criteria in front of you as opposed to the traditional town law tests. One of the key things on how we demonstrate our entitlement to that use variance, how we show you some of those compelling reasons, is how we arrived at this particular property, which is not an AR2 zone where solar is not permitted. Solar is permitted in, I think it's industrial and commercial too, in the town, and we'll talk about some of the parcels that fall under that later. The way the site selection starts, and if you've had a chance to look at our materials, this is exhibit 16. It starts with considering all the siting challenges that it takes to build solar. You might have seen a proliferation of solar arrays in the area. You're seeing them on a lot of different corners. And that may give the sense that they can be placed anywhere, but that's not actually the case. You're seeing them concentrated in certain areas that fit the mold for what solar means. So what we did is we consider those challenges, those strains on sites, and we identified in this area 104 parcels in and around the town that are adjacent to existing RG&E infrastructure that can actually carry the load of electricity generated by the project. So only those parcels, those 104 parcels outlined in blue, were greater than 20 acres and adjacent to or within 0.1 miles, a tenth of a mile of that distribution line that has capacity. Oh, scrolling is perfect. Second, we got down to 74 parcels, and we did that by eliminating parcels that had topographical characteristics or things that made building difficult. So for example, we got 33 parcels out of the way by eliminating ones with bodies of water, slopes over 12%, dwellings on them or buildings, wells that were difficult to work around, and gas pipelines, when all of those factors had the potential to eliminate the contiguous buildable area for the project. That's 74. And then, of course, we got to make sure we're in the right jurisdiction. So we eliminated an additional 20 parcels because they fell outside the town of Canandaigua. So the remaining parcels, I think we're down to 54. I'll just stick on that one for a sec, sorry. Those are the ones that are highlighted in yellow within the zoning map overlay. Red is the ones that we kicked out. Thank you. And then we looked into wetlands, which I'm sure has been a topic of conversation across the town boards and this one too for certain projects. We got down to 49 parcels by looking at wetlands and eliminating parcels where there were significant wetlands, making it difficult to develop or making it an unnecessary intrusion onto those wetlands. And then I want to quickly stick on two parcels within, this is within the industrial zone that would allow the solar array by special use permit. We wouldn't have to come to the board unless we needed area variances. So we looked at those two particular parcels and were able to eliminate them both. The reason we eliminated the one on the left there, that's outlined in blue, is due to its irregular shape. There's also a creek running through it, and I think the town owns the immediately adjoining parcel. The parcel on the right side of the screen was subject to a site plan review in 2018. I'm not sure where it went, but it does indicate that that parcel might be a little more primed for development of a different nature. Both those parcels will also require approval from the Federal Aviation Administration because of its proximity to the airport. And it's also right near some of the really incredible public improvements the town has done recently with the accessible park. And I forget the name of that road down there. Yeah. But so, you know, the Sands Family YMCA. So it's not necessarily, would that be an appropriate area for the solar array? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, right, am I getting through that one out there?
Staring you right in the face.
I mean, thinking up with the first.
Right under my nose all the time. All right, awesome. So that left us with the 47 parcels. All of those are AR2, are zoned AR2, where solar is not permitted. So what we did was we identified 6 priority sites of that 47, determined that these would be the most feasible for a solar array, and Dimension reached out to those landowners. And I think one of the things I haven't yet mentioned, but it's sort of underlying all this, is you need a landowner who's willing to host a solar array, to subject themselves to possible lost income on one end and increased income from a lease on the other. We've seen projects where the landowner gets lambasted before the public for choosing to host a solar array. So it's difficult sometimes to find a willing landowner. Joan Taylor, who's the record property owner of the New Michigan Road parcel, did respond positively to the outreach from Dimension, and that resulted in a lease, and it's resulted now in the project coming before you. Stick on that last slide if you don't mind for a little bit. So that's one of the compelling reasons, is that there aren't alternatives for this. We can't necessarily go to another property. We've explored a lot of the properties in the area, eliminated many, and we've stuck on one in particular that has a willing landowner that makes sense for the project. And additionally, as Caleb's going to come up and explain next, it creates for a really unique and impressive solar array submittal that does not burden the community like many other traditional solar developments would. It's not just a chain link fence and a couple of evergreen trees that look like they could die in a minute. There is a strong commitment to maintaining the character of the area and blending the need for, responding to an increased housing, but also maintaining some of the spirit of the town in agriculture. That's the public utility use variance in a nutshell. I appreciate that there's a lot to unpack and it's a unique standard. There's no, as Chris said earlier, there's no decision tonight from the board. We'll be back after the secret determination. So we're also going to stick around for any questions of the board on that standard. I think with that, I'll probably give it over to Caleb Scott from United Agrivoltaics, talk about that agrivoltaic feature of the project.
Thanks. I had the pleasure of hearing you at the planning board last week, and Mike and I actually just agreed, you're captivating. But I think this board would probably prefer that you keep it a little shorter.
Makes perfect sense. Absolutely.
Maybe 5 minutes max.
Yeah, that works. So Caleb Scott, thank you for having us here. I was put in, Dimension has reached out to our company, United Agrivoltaics, to help them design and build this agricultural integration plan. Agriculture, as is defined, is the cultivation of soil, raising or harvesting agriculture, horticulture commodities, including the raising of sheep, feeding, caring for animals, training, management of livestock, poultry for bearing animals, and wildlife for gain or sale or profit. So what we wanted to do is to ensure that this land was not only maximizing its potential use for solar, but also maximizing its potential use for agriculture in the community. So I want to talk to you a little bit about food ecosystem sustainability, farm revenue, which is a huge one, community engagement, and economic feasibility. Also, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been, not only do we have this company, but I'm a 7th generation farmer in New York. And I've been farming on solar, like what I'm about to show you, for the last 12 years. This is how our family makes our living. So, and there's about 60 other projects that we've helped in the state of New York in similar ways to this project. So this is real farming, and yep, we can go to the next slide there. Okay, so food. One of the things we wanted to do with this project specifically is try to, again, maximize the calories per square meter. Obviously, we've got lamb planned. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see our agricultural integration plan, but it's pretty extensive. And these are the things we go over in that. Lamb's important because it's a huge import. We import about 80% in New York. So we need more of that. But obviously there's going to be fruit, an apple orchard, 80 trees going to be planted for rotational grazing, but also for harvesting down the road. Chicken, clipped wing poultry, and pasture pork. as well. So not only are we gonna be doing providing food and grazing animals on this site, but that also helps with developing a healthy ecosystem. So regenerative agriculture actually takes prime ag land and turns it into more prime ag land, right? It's sequestrating more carbon back into the soil, less herbicides, less pesticides on our valued farmland. And then by its very nature, because we're not coming in with mechanical mowers, we're using a pastoral grazing method. We've got more wildlife, ground nesting birds and things of that. So there's a lot of ecological benefits as well. We can go to the next slide. So one of the big things here is for farming. I mean, if this were 25 acres in corn or soy, what's the revenue that's going to be generated off from that land? And what we're saying is we can get 10 times as much revenue off of the same acreage by farming it in these ways. So it's not just now like a smarter farming, because we're utilizing the sun, providing the necessary benefits for our community that we know we want to diversify our grid and not be dependent on foreign oil, and we want to utilize these natural resources that we have, but also we want to make sure we're not losing farmland. But we also need farmers to make money. I mean, so if we can actually take this infrastructure that's being, let's call this farm infrastructure, and use that to our advantage for farming, that's great. So what we found is that we have a higher stocking density of sheep per acre, which because of the shade, essentially they're out of the wind and rain. There's a lot of vegetation growth underneath the panels because grass is very, very efficient. And there's also a more diverse palette for the sheep. So we're seeing a higher rate of gain, higher stocking densities, and a longer grazing period because the snow stays off from the sites for longer periods of time, and also and also frosts and stuff. So we've extended our grazing period by a month by having these systems. What's even better about this particular plan is, and I'm trying to rush through this.
No, don't rush through it. I
Yeah.
didn't mean that.
But
I think the board will have some questions for you. after
Yeah.
that. Let's get to that.
But what's even better about this plan is that, for farmers have a hard time finding capital for infrastructure improvements. When someone comes in and says, hey, I'm gonna put a fence in for you. I'm gonna buy you chicken tractors for your doing poultry for. I'm gonna put in an orchard for you for rotational grazing of your livestock for winter forage. And I'm gonna put all this awesome shade up for your animals. All of a sudden you go, wait a minute, that seems like a really sweet deal for the farmer. So this allows farmers to kind of come in and actually start seeing revenue, and again, significant more revenue than in other use case scenarios where they might have to go out and try and get a loan for those sorts of improvements on their own farm. And again, we're also trying to compete with New Zealand here on lamb, where there's a $2 to $1 discrepancy. And so this helps us bring that industry back. So we can kind of go to the next slide here. Here's some of the benefits, and I've talked a little bit about some of this, but we want to enhance our food security. We keep talking about tariffs and stuff. Why are we importing 80% of our lamb? It's $1 billion import. It's because of that dollar discrepancy. But here we have an opportunity where a farmer is getting paid to perform a service, which is a vegetation management contract, which also stabilizes revenue and income throughout the year. It's just something you can actually budget off from. And then you've got this now there's a new land access opportunity for disenfranchised folks. Maybe it's like a second generation farmer or their second son rather. The older brother's gonna get the farm when the parents retire. How does someone get access to land today and go out and buy land and continue farming in this community? That's a challenge. That's a real challenge because the ROI on buying land can be very tricky. Unless you already have a lot of infrastructure in place and and you get a pretty good deal. So there's opportunities for next generation farmers. But there's also opportunities to make additional income above and beyond what we're talking about here. And that's with value added products like wool and like knitting, things like that, if the farmer chooses to go that route. And again, I talked about it being more profitable than soy, corn, and the type of farming that's being done on this particular parcel right now. So the solar contract with lamb sales is about $900 per acre, and corn is about $365. And so I said 10x, but that's also because we're putting in the chicken tractors. The apples probably won't generate a ton of revenue for a few years, but they're but that value of that land where we would be rotating the sheep is still really important, because that's winter forage. So we see that as a crop as well, a feed crop, until that time where we would actually be getting substantive harvests from it. And then also we also have the pasture pigs as well. These are a specific type of pig that just finishes on grass. Kunis and Idaho pasture pigs. They have a turned up nose. They don't root around. And then this hybrid grazing model, multi-species grazing model, we've found works really well. Especially in our climate and especially with the extended grazing season. So, I like to say, like, a lot of people like the scenic vistas of farming and stuff, but they often overlook the aspects of farming that are the real gritty parts. Like we have silage bunkers, and we have silos and shiny domes, and we have, all sorts of things that aren't that pretty. And a lot of times those are often put up near the roads or on the less desirable lands, where we're storing our hay wagons and stuff. I find beauty in maximizing the value of the land that we have. So as a landowner, being able to say, look, this is a good thing for the community. It's a good thing for our nation. But it's also a way that there's also an actual money revenue generating farming practice that's going along with this. I think there is something in that we can find beauty in. Also, there is a pretty robust screening thing around this plan as well. But yeah. So and the other thing I would like to say is, we want to value this land and keep it in agriculture. There's not a whole lot of other ways to do this. This keeps this land in agriculture for 30 plus years. For the life of this project, this farming plan is baked into the project. It is a part of it. So and the infrastructure and the things that are being purchased, like the chicken tractors, are part of the project. And when we look at what's gobbling up our farmland, it's development, it's housing, this is a way to preserve our farmland and make the soils a little better. We can make soils good with rotational crop, there's ways we can do it, but this is another way we can actually do it as well. And I think that there's something to be said for what is farming going to look like in the future. I don't farm the same way that my grandparents farmed, and certainly my grandparents farmed different than my great grandparents. So how we kind of approach land use and access and farming is something that we, at least me as a farmer, I have to think about that all the time. So anyway, with that, I think we had maybe one more slide or, yeah.
I think, I know that you wanted us to keep it a little short here.
You can touch on these in response to questions.
Yeah, I wanted Caleb to have time to answer questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Who would run this farm? I'm assuming not the landowner?
Yeah, so generally speaking, so I'm part of a farm partner co-op. It's United Agrivoltaics. So we have local shepherds taking over. maybe, if this project goes through, we would have a local shepherd doing this work. If not, I have shepherds that are about 20 minutes south of here that are like, sign me up, I'll drive up there and take on that. But we always try to find somebody that's, you know,
They're not employed by you, you pay people to
That's correct.
maintain,
That's
to
correct.
maintain this, they bring their animals in and
That's
do
correct.
this under your spec.
yeah.
Now, maybe you could explain to me what a chicken tractor is,
Oh, okay, great, yeah, so.
cause I have chickens.
Yeah.
And I have a chicken tractor, but I never heard of a chicken
Have you been
tractor.
farming wrong all this?
Trust me, mind blown. Okay, so chicken tractors is a device. They can be very simple, like hoops with netting that you move along the ground and it keeps the chickens safe and as they're like rotating through their pasture. The chicken tractors we have in this plan, and I think you'd have to bring up the plan to kind of check it out, are pretty awesome. They're 12 foot wide by 24 foot. And
Rolling chicken.
but they're autonomous and they have auto like augmented feeders for their minerals, for their water and stuff. So you know, these things, these similar to that, but these ones would be even yet way more robust than this. They're pretty awesome. And they move around the site and then the chickens forage underneath them and you have.
But wait a minute, they don't just automatically move around, they're a train, and they pull them to new areas of
No,
grass.
that would be better, I
We
think,
did
no.
not design the site to encompass train locomotion. I just-
No, or
I'm
trained
just saying
chickens.
that they're.
Trained chickens.
Oh, train.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of those
No.
lawnmowers.
We didn't train the chicken.
So they're
Yeah,
you can
one of the
put
lawnmowers.
solar driven motors on them and then run them, you know, GPS. Or just pull them with a buggy, like a.
That's what I kind of thought. That's
Yeah.
the way most people do it. I just thought
That's
I'd
right,
ask
yeah.
where the tractor
So
came in.
And then on the, am I going back to this, one of those slides?
Of course, you would ask this, but I told my daughter I'm buying goats for the yard. Hire them out.
It's in the slide. Oh, back in-
a lot of times we'll feed the pigs their augmented feed in front of the chicken tractors and then roll the chicken tractors over that. While the sheep are under the panels, these are moving around the exterior. Inside the fence, but between the panels.
I understand. They're
Yeah.
Hold on.
We designed the exterior of the site to ensure that there was space for the chicken tractors.
For
So over the course of how many?
So it's 10 weeks per load, and we get around the site once every 10 weeks with 2 tractors
Within our fence.
within the fence, yeah. And that's the equivalent of, you know, several acres of pasturing. And in that 10 weeks, in one rotation around the site, the chicks will go from basically chicks to market ready pasture poultry, which gets a premium.
Is there an ag exemption that you guys get for the $10,000 gross that you get from income off this 20 acre?
It's gonna be more than that, gross, yeah. off that.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I
but-
assume then the assessment can only be on the basis of agricultural use.
Yeah, so we're, maybe that's,
You're not gonna be eligible for an ag exemption, I think so.
I don't think, they're still gonna pay taxes as if it were,
Yeah,
as if it were a
Solar farm.
solar farm.
Okay.
Either way, the community benefits there because the existing value is going to go up. The assessment's gonna go up because of the improvements, and probably because of the mixed uses.
The town getting agriculture without giving up an ag exemption, I don't get that idea. Not that there's anything wrong with ag exemptions, people at this table.
I didn't hear anything.
So what's in the field there now, what is it being,
It's wheat.
it's wheat? Okay. So moving those things around now, when you get snow or if it gets muddy,
You only get as many 10 weeks, the chicken tractors aren't being used over the winter.
okay,
Yeah, and the pigs aren't being overwintered outside either. They get ferreted out in a barn. And only a certain amount of sows are kept over. The idea with pasture pigs is, if you wanna get technical, is you put one sow litter out. And then you raise 8 or 10 piglets on pasture while they're also on milk. And then you sell them at like 120 pounds as a roaster. Again, you're getting a premium for them, but you're getting 8 to 10 pigs off each acre in addition to having sheep because they're very efficient in their conversion ratio of feed to meat. So.
In essence, you contract this out, people that you have are interested in doing this because they get paid so much monthly to put their livestock
Correct.
in this operation. So really, the solar people, you have nothing to do with it other than your interest is to keep this site clear.
Correct.
So you don't have trees growing up through your solar panels, and that's done all over the state with goats, people that have goats do this.
Not so much on solar because goats are unruly and chew on things and jump on things. And break
Oh, I
them
know.
like their hands. So, I mean, I like goats, I just don't like them on solar. But yes, there's a vegetation management contract portion of this. That accounts for the service that's being provided in lieu of a mowing contract, for example. The farmers are providing a service. That's a beautiful part of this. The farmers are getting paid in essence to feed their livestock. They bring their livestock in and then they make the monies off from that. But they're also putting the efforts into running the chicken tractors, getting the augmented feed. The north part of the parcel is gonna remain in hay. So that's another 11 or
12 acres.
yeah, and there's a potential wood between like all around with the buffer zones and stuff, maybe I think 14 or so total acres where we can harvest hay and then pelletize that and feed that to the chickens and pigs. You know, so there's the land is still being farmed on the outside of the parcel as well.
Well, that's
it's
not
farm.
something that they would lease out to the farmer who's already leasing it out?
That's the tentative plan, yeah, and he's also maybe possibly getting additional.
Yeah, so we've talked to Scott Brocklebank. He's currently leasing the land from Joan Taylor. You know, he currently leases 75 acres from her directly. You know, he wouldn't, at this point, we're still in initial discussions. I've made it clear to him that as a part of the, if this project is approved, he obviously has the right to continue farming it in this new proposed way, right? As a part of our agrivoltaics plan, as a part of our haying operation. So, you know, he'll certainly have the ability to continue doing that. It would just look different than what he's currently doing, which is, you know, monoculture farming generally.
Thank you, that's really very enlightening to me.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, but the nice thing is, and I think I said this to the agricultural advisory board as well. There's only a limited amount of actual capacity that your town has. I think it's 10 megawatts or something.
Yeah, I'll speak to that too. So if you look at our, you know, analysis for the siting criteria on this circuit that we're proposing our project on, granted, I'm sure there are other circuits that run through Canandaigua, but the one we're looking at, there's only 10.5 megawatts AC available for interconnection for projects. We're queued up to take approximately 5 of that, leaving 5.5 megawatts to someone else. So realistically, you can only host 2 or 3 solar projects on that line, unless people, of course, want to propose like 5 1-megawatt projects, but who wants to do that? You know what I mean? So this circuit itself is very limited in capacity. If once people start proposing over that 10.5 megawatts, you start getting in the $10 to $20 million substation upgrade fee costs, because that's what it takes to add capacity to the substation.
In the event any of that does happen, whether it's a second project after this one, and if this one would be approved, we've also identified almost every parcel will need a use variance.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, this project has come forward and proposed something pretty unique that to a large extent will set a precedent for this board to latch onto, or any other board of the town, or the town board as well, to say, I'm glad you're doing solar here and activating this land, but these other guys on New Michigan Road had pretty stout agrivoltaics plan. What's your ability to do that too?
And you guys have stuff already, oh, sorry, you have stuff going around locally, like the other surrounding areas here? Or any projects like other than Canandaigua, I mean, like, what's the closest project?
Yeah, nice. Oh, for him, for Caleb?
I mean, like something like this. Is
I
that-
have projects like this going in Lansing, New York.
Okay.
I'm grazing with I'm grazing, I think in Dix, New York with you guys and in Oswegatchie, New York.
Yep.
And then we have a really neat project on Slayton Settlement Road in Lockport. It's not too awful far away.
None of our other projects we have a lot of projects in construction currently, so obviously we're not grazing on them yet. Dix and Oswegatchie are not entirely very close here, so. So we did include some additional information on some of Caleb's local work, which is, that'd be helpful.
Thank you very
Is
much.
there a minimum distance you have to be close to a substation?
We like to be within, it's not, we need to be within,
You think about it, there's no
Yeah.
black letter rule because it's the
Yeah.
farther you get, the increased cost
yeah,
upgrade. So the closer, the better for all parties involved, because then the utility is more comfortable with what you're contributing to the interconnection process. And it is site dependent, that
Yeah.
there's some where simply interconnecting itself, interconnecting, meaning connecting your electricity generated to the grid is just cheaper because of the existing infrastructure. So on that one, it's like a sliding scale, and you could be maybe a quarter of a mile away because your interconnection cost is lower overall. Whereas this one, I think we used 1/10 of a mile to start.
It's more about distance at 3
yeah, the biggest thing is proximity to a three-phase power line. You need to be within 0.1 miles to a three-phase power source instead of, say, single phase or transmission. You need to be within that distance to a distribution level system as opposed to a transmission-based system or single phase to put your project online.
Right, and a substation that has capacity that doesn't cost a ton of money to upgrade as well,
Yeah.
right? So those are.
A lot of these substations you'll find are either really poorly, they haven't had a lot of upgrades in 40 to 60 years, therefore their capacity is limited. Or some of them do have a lot of capacity, and this was a really great opportunity at this project where there was capacity on this circuit to pursue.
Where is the nearest substation for this one? Do you know off the top of your head or?
I don't know the distance off the top of my head. I would actually have to trace the lines to it. It's kind of funny. RG&E is very secretive about where their substations actually are.
Right down Concord. It's right there.
Great, thank you very much. Yeah.
And also, we do have Brian Baer here. I'm sorry I never turned it to you, but if you have any questions about any of the environmental analyses or site plan designs that we've done to date, we'd be happy to answer those too.
And you lugged that big bag with you and everything, right?
Your decision tonight is continue this, the use variance request and to acquiesce, for lack of a better term, the planning board's declaration of intent to be lead agency.
Okay.
Which I'm assuming you're all okay with. I think it's an appropriate thing to do.
That's
And
just not us.
procedurally, I can't.
Reasonable.
Yeah, right.
Or I have a motion.
Pass the
to
buck.
that effect, but,
I motion.
We have to close the hearing.
Oh, well, he said he had to.
No, it's just continue to.
I
I don't know if there is a hearing. Is it on for here?
don't think so. I don't think we opened it, so I can't even read it.
Just continue the matter.
It's a response to the meeting.
Um,
Okay, we'll go ahead and you can continue it, whenever it gets back to us, basically.
It'll be at your June meeting, right?
We were just talking about this earlier, I wish I could remember what I said.
I saw it continued on a couple of the meetings, for
Yeah, we
sure.
have to do
There's a schedule and
Yeah.
timing. that-
It said it in the notes.
When you're ready to come back, we will.
yeah,
Yep.
it might be your first July meeting,
Yeah.
Okay.
or your only July meeting.
And I assume everyone's okay with planning board.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
You want Dave?
thank you very much.
Unanimous, it's done.
Yes.
I think
I think
July
July
15th.
15th.
This is July 15th.
Third Tuesday.
It's done to get crazy. Well, it'll be a fun.
Here, when we look, I'll look real
We'll
quick.
see you in July.
You need it.
I'll let you know right now.
Video
Oh.
of one of these
You just see my
things
phone.
going on. Shows some
That'd be
piglets and the lambs and I feel like you probably would like to buy yourself a drone.
What about a little-
That's-
a
It is the
GoPro?
15th.
That would
Third
be
Thursday is,
GoPro.
or third
That would
Tuesday
be
is.
so fun.
Do you hear me, Chris?
You should.
No, I have an idea.
Nobody here. Anyway, they're Tuesdays, the 15th, just so you guys know.
Now it's
Business imaging going.
We've already.
If this thing gets,
I
if
guess,
this thing
right.
gets approved, I just keep saying I'm gonna get my meat here, so
Oh, yeah.
I don't see what
close to Syracuse, you know.
Like right in the middle.
it is.
There you go.
That completes the,
Great, thank you so much.
and now we will convene, the board to
Alrighty.
discuss the, let's see. Okay, the first one, Thomas Road, we're holding over till next month for our last try.
Alright.
Hickox Road, fence,
Yeah. I don't have an issue. but I know that it's the height is the issue, right? I mean,
That's the only-
That's the only thing before this is the height.
I mean, there's chickens there, it could be a buffer for noise, I mean, I don't know, I mean, this kind of out there. It's not really impeding anything. That's what I'm
a
personally.
rural area, but those several houses are very close together.
It's just like the same old thing. I wish the code was,
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Good night.
this is a 50% over the code and it's the. You know, again, I'm fine with
Not
60,
60.
50% of it's 2 feet. whatever.
Well, only a certain section of it though, not the whole.
No, I understand. Like I said, it's.
Right. I'm not, throwing that out there.
It's a substantial variance.
It is a substantial
2
difference.
feet up, the addition on 4 is. I
I have
have
no response from neighbors on this, they're
I don't think I'd ask for one.
Am I allowed to add something or no?
no,
Public hearing.
not now.
Okay, alright, alright.
So. Since it's only one straight line and it's not boxing in the house or the yard, I'm a little more inclined to think it's okay.
I agree.
It's really only the stretch that where the two houses are pretty close together.
Yeah, it really is
Doesn't
only
really
a privacy barrier.
I think I just make very clear and make some findings about the neighborhood,
Right,
the specific situation, the size and the distance of the lots.
there's a chicken coop right there, that
Yeah.
could be a potential. Yeah.
Well, that's why I asked the question about precedence, but you don't think in this case that this just opens it up and cancels that code? Along with, you know, like so many things, we. I mean, if I wanna put a 6-foot fence in, and then when I'm gonna go back and find this, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to. Unless you. Create distinction for this variance with findings of fact,
Right.
saying this is the shape of this parcel, this is the size of this parcel. This is the linear distance of the fence. We really spell it out, what you're granting and why. You know, this is a 6-foot fence in the front yard, that's what our code says no on that. But our code also allows exceptions to the rule, but you wanna tailor that exception and define it for just this kind of project. If somebody comes with the exact same situation, yeah, they're gonna have a precedent.
I'm not, you know, it's not unreasonable for what he's trying to do, as long as, you know, it just cancels the code. And
What zoning district is this?
It's,
two.
it's, yeah,
Can you put it up on the map,
I drive by it all the time,
the
because I took
aerial?
that road back when I garaged.
Try to zoom out so we can. See what's around there, maybe define the neighborhood. I don't know this area, but as
I do.
part of your findings, say where the neighborhood starts at this street, zoom out.
It's agricultural.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
It's
yeah,
very
yeah.
agricultural.
With a couple
It's up on a
places
hill a
where the
little
houses
bit,
are
sort
very
of.
close.
What's that?
But there are a couple places,
Yeah.
such as here where the houses are near the street, close to each other.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, 'cause I saw it. the
You know,
other
it
day when I
doesn't
was
have
by
a
there.
house on the adjacent lot, or is that?
Correct.
The one next to him is the one with the chickens. and
Yeah.
All that,
But on the other side is
yeah,
nothing.
nothing. Well, there is a neighbor on the other
Mike,
side.
if this was an agricultural fence, a deer fence, it could be over 6 feet, right?
Yes. It can. It's warding off
One
potential
side,
problems to your
right,
land, yes.
but there can do, you know, there's no front yard in an agricultural situation.
No, I understand. I was just trying to say, under what circumstances can you have a fence that's over 6 feet?
right.
But it might not-
Interestingly, you're the solar farm. We required that.
Yeah.
You want to put a solar thing in this sort of?
Try to have an 8 foot
If he puts
fence.
in a pool, right?
Yeah, that issue, I mean, wouldn't necessarily have to be board fence.
Right.
Could be a,
Right.
but.
No,
Right. And I don't know about.
We're talking height
lot
here.
five. Yeah. He's looking for an angle.
I think you're going to define what we're talking about. I don't have a problem. with it.
I would define it to be the neighborhood to be north of 32, south of 5 and 20 on Hickox Road,
Okay,
on the west side of Hickox Road.
like the actual
I'm good with that.
location.
Yeah. but,
Area.
You know, define
Gotcha.
the neighborhood.
Okay,
You say, you know, the factors with the, you know, job.
So the neighborhood.
Topography.
right.
Neighborhood
Topography out
character
there
is
is,
agricultural, but with areas of it in which houses are very close to one another.
You know,
How big is the parcel again? 4.6 acres?
Yeah.
Pardon?
I just wonder how big the parcel was. I think it's
Yeah, it's 4.2, so
it looks like the one to the north is a little bit bigger.
Mhm.
South is a lot bigger. The one to the, you know, to the west is enormous.
And I think we could say that location of the fence is in an area which to provide
privacy
privacy from neighbor, which is very close.
and buffer maybe
And,
some noise or
And
something.
I guess, yeah, chickens and
We haven't voted yet. so-
Well, I think it's still privacy.
We haven't voted yet, so.
no, I know, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to put together. I don't mind what-
Dave, you raise chickens. Right?
Yeah.
Does anybody else raise chickens?
Non-tractor based chickens.
No, I mean regular, because I raise them too. Roosters can be very
Oh,
vicious.
I know.
Just like this, just like.
Yeah, there you go. That's, we'll chase you down. I say, and they heard.
People ready to vote? Call the question.
CPN 2025-025, 3170 Cox Road. Shall the height variance request of 2 feet be granted? Shannon Shelly,
Yes,
Jason Outhouse,
Yes,
David Emery,
Yes,
Kelly LaVoy,
Yes,
Chip Saylor.
Yes. Okay,
for all the reasons we
approved
said.
based on the information which we received tonight. And
The neighborhood being defined as,
south of
South,
20,
North
north
of
of 32.
Yeah.
Lot size rectangular, 4.2 acres.
the proposed fence is straight.
You got linear
Thank you. That's the right
partial
word.
fence, non-boxed in. 430-foot linear fence on the north property line. Or along a portion of the north property line.
and
Adjacent to the
area
close-
where the houses are quite close. to
Yep.
each other.
And the benefit be achieved by other means.
doesn't sound like it.
moving.
No, 4-foot fence isn't gonna give them the privacy.
Right.
And a line of arborvitae's isn't gonna keep the chickens out. The character of the neighborhood, Chip just define that. is gonna result in something seriously out of place as you're driving down Hickok.
Not really, no.
It's primarily agriculture, which
There's
has,
a tree that actually is even.
There's actually quite a few.
Kind of part of the
trees there,
line.
which I missed where it was.
Okay, trees
Yeah.
will
Yeah, it's not.
camouflage it. Is it substantial? Yes.
Yes.
25%.
25% is the answer to substantial. Is there an adverse impact on the environment, drainage and stormwater problems? No. Traffic, increase in traffic? No. Dust, noise, light or odor? Nope. No. Will it impact views and or aesthetic resources? Are there any important views in this area?
Any
If
important
it
views?
were all the way up. It would maybe an impact.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Dave has it.
It doesn't go all the way up, I think. That's
true.
It really is, right?
Okay.
We have trees.
Will it impact emergency service access, natural features,
No,
historic and archaeological features, or health and safety? Is it a self-created hardship?
No.
No?
No. Having
Yes.
neighbors next door with, I mean, is that their fault?
And if they know too.
Not his.
It's other created. And does the benefit outweigh the detriment?
Yes.
Sounds like it.
Yes, okay.
Yep, you got all that?
Just
She's
that
good.
thing.
Yes, you've got
Robert Cross.
Okay.
he just said the same thing.
it.
Have a good night.
Thank you too. Next one is Leland Tyler on Avon Road. Didn't really see any problem with this.
What's that?
On Avon Road, there's, doesn't go any closer to the
Yeah,
property line than what's already there.
right.
Right.
And just connects those.
Disconnects the two.
Yeah, that parcel's interesting.
But it's only reason because it could be connected, makes it
Right,
all infrastructure. It's already there.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not really changing. any-
no,
It
it's
doesn't have
not,
any impact on anything.
not really.
Call question.
CPN 2025-026, 2232 Avon Road, shall the rear setback variance request of 14.4 feet be granted? Shannon,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
David,
Yes,
Kelly,
Yes.
Chip.
Yes. Okay, I think it doesn't change a lot for the reasons that were presented to us tonight. It does not change the character of the neighborhood. It is not any closer to the property line than what's already there.
it's not substantial.
Not substantial.
And there is a odd shape to the lot. So it's-
Sorry,
Because of the odd shape of the lot, it is not,
yeah, the odd shape of the lot makes it very difficult to do a number of things, you know.
There's no negatives from the neighbors,
Pardon?
no negatives from the neighbor, and it's not out of character, so it's-
Good. Also, okay. Next. All right. Sammy's Way, we put off.
did you have a water bottle? Okay.
Make my kids found it fun to see, I can take it.
Oh, no, it's totally, I just didn't want you to leave it behind.
I
Sorry.
also thought it was honey.
Well, they should hear that.
That's our thing.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so Sammy's Way is put off till next time. We really need more information.
Yep.
Okay, 3850 County Road 16. You know, I think again, we've gone through this corner lot so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just by having two front yards, it really puts some unreasonable restrictions on people, I think.
I don't know that I personally see this as that substantial a variance because it's already non-conforming. So we're only, we're increasing the non-conformity 16 feet. So it's not really a variance asking for the 40 or 34 or whatever that's in there, in my head.
There were a couple of members on the ECB that said that they liked them turning the driveway too because of the runoff.
They were against it though, the ECB was.
I know they
Well,
were,
they-
but then they also said that they were okay with the, you know, like they're,
They
if you
had
read through
positive
the
and
comment, yeah.
negatives, I think.
They give you a positive.
Overall,
I think they do that though. They don't really say yes or no on this too.
Yeah.
I think a big aspect of this is getting rid of another driveway on Westlake Road.
I agree.
County Road 6.
It is tricky there too, and that's
Yeah,
why,
it's because it's so close to the
yeah,
Rifles Road.
it's kind of a,
Um, I see that as a big advantage of it.
Does it change the address?
No,
I didn't think so.
it doesn't,
No.
because it has two fronts or two sides.
okay, I figured the
It just doesn't
access-
stay the same. No, it's, the front door is still the same.
okay. Okay,
I just, it's hard because I feel like it could move a little to the north.
yeah,
It's modified a bit, but
Oh, I think if moving it north is gonna alter the house itself, and I can see where that would be.
well, and it doesn't really either, like if you look at the Whitefulls, if you're gonna compare it to the Whitefulls neighborhood, though, it is out of character, but I mean,
Well, across Whiteful's Road from them,
is the other house.
there's a house which has been added on. to
Oh, yeah,
it,
the X,
and
yeah,
I'm not sure.
but that's off of, is that off of Whitefulls or is that off of? Westlake?
It's almost like that,
Yeah.
but they're really close to the property line there.
Oh, yeah, the house is
You
huge.
never saw it, but I can't believe that.
Well, and I was
I
gonna
know.
say almost the exact opposite. I mean, we're talking about butting up against a road, nobody's gonna care.
Well, it's already there.
Right,
sort of.
right.
just for- again, for the size of the lot to me and where they have it, and I understand there's not a lot of flat. Lifeless Road doesn't, there's
Right.
no connotation of flat
No.
with Lifeless Road.
Yeah, and it's
Right.
kind of on a,
Right.
yeah,
I think with them doing this, there probably are some, and getting rid of the driveway down below and with, you know, the drainage issues that they'll add, probably would be significant.
Improvement.
yeah, and they did actually say
That runs
that,
right down on
yeah.
the Westlake Road. Anymore.
I don't know, I mean, did we have any letters that, did we get any letters from the neighbors?
There was some issue
What did we get?
about freedom of information request from the neighbor.
Yeah, the FOIL. I saw,
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
That was stated in the ECQ minutes. But I didn't see any. I don't see any letters from them.
Yeah, it did say something about that too, I saw.
Have to do a FOIL to
I mean, it just struck me because you don't
Get
get
access to that, you know,
information.
What?
You don't have to
Don't
do
have
a
to
FOIL
do
to
it.
get access to them.
Yeah, right, it's already listed. I don't know, but it did say something there about, right there, the neighbors are. And nobody ever,
There's no need for a FOIL anyway.
right,
Which neighbors, the neighbors with the 4-car garage? Immediately to the north?
Right.
they were concerned about really?
The 4-car garage and the driveway on Rifles?
And you're that runoff.
Oh,
Like this whole area right here is,
yeah,
this is all silt, right?
right. And it's sort of, I mean, on that side on Lifeless too, I mean, it drops off.
Mike, how big is that parcel?
That Point six. Just 0.6. Has a little piece of crystal. The other side, so, alright.
Okay, any other?
What's that thing in the back? So,
That,
good.
really helped out with here. Well. Oh, no, it's probably.
Playground, it's a playground.
Gym playground?
Yeah.
Everybody okay?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Call the question.
Sure. CPN 2025-032. 3850 County Road 16. Shall the front setback variance request of 43.5 feet be granted? Shannon,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes,
Kelly,
Yes,
Chip,
Yes.
might as well make it unanimous, right?
Pardon me?
That's what I might as well make it unanimous.
Based on the information presented at this meeting.
sorry.
Oh, you know, we forgot to condition the,
That's just
one
gonna
and a half on, that has to be done within a year.
you know, I
Blame
that.
the
That's a
cat.
standard
Okay.
condition.
Okay, you just put them on standard.
Pretty much, unless we've
Okay,
got.
that's fine with me, because I always,
Okay.
I always forget, as you know. Okay,
You just remembered though, Chip, nice job.
wake up tonight and remember. Okay, I think it, is in keeping with the character of the neighborhood. It's a corner lot which confers
Issues.
somewhat difficult, requirements of setbacks.
Safety, too. Potential.
There, say, yeah, it does eliminate a driveway on Westlake Road. Which is both for safety and I think drainage purposes.
Yeah.
It's an improvement.
Maybe an improvement.
Um, There's no need for, variance on lot coverage or. Building more lot coverage. I guess I want to add that the placement of it is dictated by
Topography.
Yeah, the topography of the lot.
topography and also the placement of the original house.
Right.
Placement and features and layout.
Right.
That's good.
He's really good with words.
Must be an attorney.
Anything else anybody want to add?
That's good.
You put drainage, right? Potential improvement in drainage. I guess that's better.
Okay. So. Thank you. Have a nice night. Thank you.
Good.
And let's see,
I'm done.
the only other one we have is, we'll just get again, that was a fascinating discussion.
Well,
That was interesting.
I have a question. If it's gonna be related to
Yeah.
the planning board,
Good night.
why, I mean, I've heard my entire time on this board, more from Doug than anybody, the Paddleford Greenbelt prime farmland
Right.
directive. I mean, you can say what you want about this solar thing, but this is destroying 20 acres of prime farmland. I don't care what they say about it.
How much, per acre does wheat generate?
Oh, well, I don't think he's not, they're leasing it out anyway. This is a lease.
No, I'm saying, how much to, $300 an acre, $100 an acre?
Well, it's difficult right now, probably an all-time low right at the moment.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
No, I'm not
so
saying
that's
that.
prime, this is how I look at it, and this is my personal take.
Yeah, but this is not an economic argument, Chris. This is the Paddleford Greenbelt. We can't touch these prime soils.
Okay, well,
I love the accent. That was really good. I like it.
And from an economic standpoint, there's no way you can compete with a solar farm.
the woman,
Yeah.
I mean, the woman who owns it, making $5,000 a year on it.
Right.
In wheat or in hay, or, I mean.
She's getting $80 an acre probably, or maybe
Oh,
85.
geez, she's not even making 5,000.
She's paying her taxes.
Right.
She's getting an ag
She's getting
exemption.
the ag exemption, but. I mean, she could just stop and let it go fallow or I mean, she's legally entitled to subdivide that lot. Into as many single family residences
something
as she can fit, 40. AR2, right?
Right.
2 acre lots.
But it's in the belt and there's no sewage.
She's still
There-
allowed to do it.
There is water there.
Well, I-
On a 2 acre lot.
Really?
But it's.
I have a
Yeah,
question.
All the way down Conroe Road.
So when these solar things,
Oh, good.
probably ever don't
I don't
work or
either.
whatever, I mean, when they don't function
Not on the
environmentally.
Michigan Road, it doesn't.
The town requires, they post a decommissioning bond
It stops.
that pays the town to do it.
All right, got it.
Wait,
Got
Does
it.
the
I was
town-
wondering, I
the-
happened to
the
think about
building
that.
here?
Yeah.
I like,
On the
the
side
thing I
road?
like about this is that those things are so goddamn ugly and take up space, but at least the animals can now.
I was
mow
surprised
around
at
them
how much
and-
shade is
Yeah,
required, I mean.
Right,
how-
they're hot though, aren't they usually?
This is,
No,
How
No,
is that not
I thought that they
agriculture?
that's
raised.
a pig in a poke. This thing is.
No, it's a pig on a solar farm.
Pig in the
no,
toast.
This is a joke. As far as agriculture, this is the selling point. This is the. This is
yeah,
the.
it is.
but
This is
no,
a
no.
gimmick.
Hang on, hang
Yeah,
on.
it is a.
They don't actually have to be doing this. I mean,
They're trying to sell this thing right now. This is the sales
Sure.
portion.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, the main question is, for anybody, is, reality is, would we be even here talking about this if it wasn't for the brilliance of New York State and the federal government giving the incentives that they do? This is totally incentive money. That's all the reason, that's the only money they make. That's it. They wouldn't do this in New York State, and anybody who doesn't believe me, think about the next weather for the next 6-7 days.
That's why I said I'm gonna go get goats.
well,
I said today I was gonna go buy goats
I
because I
wanted to ask,
need to mow my lawn.
you know,
I'm tired of
in
Chuck
it.
is online too,
Chuck,
if anybody wants to.
you know, in the
He's
winter,
heard this
when
whole
they're
thing too.
covered with snow, how do they work?
Right,
They
well,
don't,
right,
but
that's the
Whatever.
thing.
Well, there's barely any sun in the winter too.
Well,
Well, there is, I
We
mean,
don't have to work. We could finish.
my daughter and family have a solar array on
Yeah.
the barn, and they more than.
on their barn, like on top. of
I'm
it.
not saying
Yeah,
that
yeah, no, I'm
that solar's
just
not
saying-
feasible, but I'm
I
saying
think-
for a project this size, the
Yeah.
only reason it sells is because of New
Yeah.
York State and the federal government,
Yeah.
period. This is not a cheap deal.
But everyone that puts them on their house, like Dave says, is getting a tax write.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, they
I thought
they
about
worked
putting
it
it
on
on
their
my
own
house,
without the
'cause
tax.
holy
That's
crap.
I think
what
putting
I
it
don't know,
on your
maybe.
house is beneficial, it can.
Right.
Yes,
You can generate
I
your
want the Tesla. ones,
enough
though,
electricity to run your house.
Wait.
yes, you can.
But you don't actually run your house, it goes into the line.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's not true. On your house, that is not
Yeah.
true. It goes into your box in your house.
Really?
Yes.
Like,
Oh,
the guy-
I've got a huge complex quote and everything on, so I know how the house part works.
I got a quote on it too, and the guy told me he can't, he said he
I-
has to run out to the distribution.
The word is,
No.
this is a done deal,
In
this
fact,
can't be
it
stopped.
can't.
Is that a
This-
correct answer
what I
from
want,
the?
I didn't do it. I want window power.
Oh.
Kelly, did you have anything to say?
I want to come in the house.
About-
Meeting adjourned?
Right.
Motion maybe?
I'm meeting
Yeah,
adjourned.
that's all.
I make a
Sounds
motion
like
to
the
adjourn.
battery.
Okay, no, we can't.
So you
we
come
can't,
in
we gotta-
into the battery.
Oh, sorry.
And then the battery into the
I'm
panel.
sorry, were you
and
saying
into the
something?
long
By
term.
the way,
Yeah, we just gotta vote on this, then you can adjourn.
Yeah.
Kelly makes a motion to approve minutes.
Yes, I make a motion to approve
I
minutes.
second.
Anybody else?
So it goes into your box.
I already- I did read them.
Everybody
Everybody
just
approved
knows
minutes?
it.
We're approving the minutes
Yes.
Yes.
And a new.
Approved.
and meeting adjourned.
No other, no other.
Yeah, because that was my thing, it's like I just can't support
Right.
you with the power.
Right.
New business?
Sorry, recording off?
Yes.
Yeah.